Hi guys, how's it going? It's me Megan and I am back with another video. If you guys are new to my channel, I'm a full-time reseller on Poshmark and a few other platforms, but mostly Poshmark, and here on YouTube I like to make reseller content. I'll do sole videos, I'll do unboxings, I'll do hauls, I'll do all that good stuff, so if that is something you guys are interested in, please make sure to like and subscribe, and that way you'll never miss one of my videos. So in today's video, when you're watching this, I'm actually probably in Connecticut already. I will be in Connecticut for the duration of September. I'm gonna be there visiting my family, my parents, my sister, my niece, all my friends, and we actually have a wedding that we're going to, so it's gonna be pretty busy, but I will be there for the duration of September. But I did want to share with you guys some of the best sales that I had actually in July. July was a bit of a weird month for me. It was slow, but it was like the first time that I made more money on all the other platforms besides Poshmark, like combined, than on Poshmark itself. I had the exact number of sales on Poshmark and then all the other sites combined, but I actually made more on the combination of all the other sites, which was different. I usually far overpass those with Poshmark, so let me know if you've been experiencing the same thing. I don't know, maybe it's just summer and the summer slowdown of it all, but I did want to share with you guys my July sales. I'm going to be doing this a little bit differently. The last video I did like this, I shared my screen with you guys, so I'm going to do that again. It's kind of how Kaylee Elaine, if you don't follow her here on YouTube, it's how she does her videos, and I feel like they're very informative. I get to show you the listing and the tags, the titles, all that good stuff, so if you like this format, please let me know. But yeah, I'm gonna get into my sales. I'll be sharing everything from $40 and over that I sold in the month of July. So let's get into it.
All right, so I'm gonna start with the sales I had in the $40 range. I sold these Bryn Walker linen wide leg pants. I got these actually at the bins. I find Bryn Walker a lot at the bins, and I came across a few pieces on one trip, so I was really excited about that. I found two pairs of these pants. These sold for $40 and the others were brown with stripes, and those actually sold for $35, so they didn't make the cut for this video, but I did want to mention them. But yeah, these sold for $40. Actually got a lot of attention on pretty much every platform. Really great, fun color, and wide leg is very trendy, and again, linen. People really like to sell this brand. I think it does best in their linen pieces. I've found other pieces by this brand and they just don't do as well. So yeah, probably the linen is the best way to go. These were a size small too, so on the smaller side, but they sold for $40 and after fees I made $32. Then I sold this brand Petal and Pup. This is actually the second time I found this brand. Both times I found them actually at the bins. Again, linen. I loved this style. This model photo is so cute. Two pink linen pieces in a row. This was actually a size 4. This photo did not look good. Sometimes I don't bother like steaming things if I know I have a good model photo. Case in point, honestly I think I steamed this half and then stopped. But yeah, wrinkly. Anyway, this ended up selling for $40 and after fees I made $32. And the other piece I'd found prior to this, I think also sold really well, and that piece was actually new with tags. So definitely a brand to keep an eye out for. I wouldn't pay up for it, but if you do have to pay up for it, I would just check comps first. That was at the bin, so I obviously picked it up. Another bins pickup. This is a pair of Veronica Beard jeans. I was so excited to see these at the bins. I had found a few pairs in the past that had sold really well. So, of course, finding anything Veronica Beard at the bins is very exciting. I was surprised no one else picked them up, but then, of course, I get home and I notice these, like, holes almost. Small, not terrible. I wasn't gonna list them, but then I decided to list them because they're just such a great style. And again, the holes aren't that bad. Sold for $40, which I was pretty shocked about. Very happy, but very shocked. Sold for $40 and after fees I made $32. Again, I sell things with flaws quite often, but I just make sure to take very good photos showing the flaws, and then also mentioning it in the description just so it's very transparent. Here's another $40 sale, this really cute Reformation top. Got this at a thrift store, probably spent about $6, I want to say short sleeve top pieces were. I saw this and it didn't say anything, but just the feel of this piece, I figured, and the look of this tag, even though the information had worn out, I just knew it was Reformation. All their pieces kind of feel like a stiffer silk, but I don't know if they actually sell any silk pieces. But the inside tag did have Reformation and the size, which is good to include that. This did take a while to sell, I think because it was on the smaller side, but such a cute top. Sold for $40 again, and after fees I made $32. Here is another $40 sale. This is a vintage leather horse saddle, like teeny tiny mini purse. This, you are probably like, that looks like a THREDUP listing. It was. I purchased this off of THREDUP when I used to source pieces from there to resell. I spent about $15 on this. It was like unbranded. I took all these real close-up photos of it. This, and like the inside was like some sort of fur. I don't even know. This got tons of attention. I've had this for years. I think I got this in 2021, honestly. So not a great pickup. I had it listed very high because there was one sold somewhere at the time and it had sold for over 100. I've sat on this again for 3 years and it finally sold for 40, which at this point I am more than happy about. And again, after fees, I made 32. Then I sold these mother jeans. I love finding mother jeans. I think in the last video I made like this, I said that those sold the same day. I think I was getting those confused with these because these did sell the same day. They had not wear, but you can see just like a little bit of pulling right here. So I marked them for less than I probably would if they were in excellent condition. Here are the pockets. Whenever I see these M's, I get very excited. I love selling this brand. It also says mother on the tag up here, and their inner tags are usually like rectangles with the embossed mother. These are the looker jean, and these weird phrases they have down here is like the color. So these were in the color here, kitty kitty, which just makes it easier when you're like Googling it if you use like stock photos, model photos like I do. And yeah, these sold the same day, sold for 40, and this actually sold on a discount with a shipping discount. So these sold for 40, and after fees I made $29.98, and I got those at the bins. Here is a Deopop sale. These are newer Abercrombie and Fitch pants. These are actually in a 00 short. So that just kind of goes to show how trendy Abercrombie and Fitch is right now. Like they're having their comeback. So to know if it's a short, it'll have an S here. If it's regular, it'll have an R and then an L for long. So if you're not aware, that's how that goes. And yeah, these are newer Abercrombie and Fitch. These are their Sloan is the name trousers, which are crazy trendy. And yeah, even with it being a smaller size, I think I got these for like $8 at Goodwill. They sold for $45, and after fees I made $38.25. Then I had one other $40 sale on Deopop. It was this really cute Y2K waffle knit. More rare Free People waffle knits used to do really well. Now they don't seem to do as well. You know, they'd have the ones with like they were knit here. I don't know how to describe it. But those used to be like really big bolos. This I found at a thrift store and I just really liked the way it looked. I liked all this like floral embroidery that it had right here, and these buttons were really cute. You couldn't really read much of the label, but that's what that looked like. I ended up listing it decently high just because I really liked the style. It felt really like cottagecore-esque. It ended up selling for what I had it listed at, which was $42 on Deopop, and after fees I made $39.98. Deopop, like Mercari, has gotten rid of its selling fees, but they still have some fee. So it's not like I sold it for 42 and I make 42. It's like I sold it for 42 minus whatever fee that they say that they don't have. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, 42 turned into $39.98, and I probably spent about $8 on that piece. Here was another fun find. This I found at the bins. I figured it was going to be... These photos aren't great that I took, but I figured I could find a model photo, and I did. Very sexy dress, fitted, long, deep V, high slit. This is the brand Super Down, and this is sold on Revolve. It's kind of expensive to begin with, but not as crazy as some of the other brands. I think this might have retailed for less than $100, so again, nothing like too crazy. I wouldn't pick up just anything by this brand, but because it was at the bins and it was a maxi dress and I could just tell that it was going to be something unique and trendy, I did pick it up. Ended up selling for $42 on Mercari, and I made $42 because no fees. So that was a fun find. Moving on to my eBay sales, I sold this really cute pleated Spanx skirt. It had this fun like asymmetricness to it. I had never seen anything like this, so I figured it would probably be a piece that was gonna sell well from Spanx. Some things I do sit on, especially if it's in a small or a medium, but yeah, skirts are really trendy, pleated things are really trendy, and people love Spanx. These sold decently quickly. They sold for $45 on eBay, and after fees I made $40.92. I think I spent about $8 on that, I want to say. Got it at a thrift store. These I also purchased at a thrift store. These are Anthropologie Maeve wide leg trousers. Really cute, great size, size 12. I don't pick up everything Maeve, but I do really well in Anthropologie sizes that are in... I don't even know what I was just saying. I do better with Anthropologie in bigger sizes. Not even that big, like 10 plus. Probably. Obviously, the bigger, the better. But I loved the wide leg. Trousers are still very trendy. I loved the color. And yeah, I don't remember how much I spent. Maybe 10 on these cost of goods. They sold for $45, and after fees, I made $37.63. Here's a cute Jams World piece. Got this at the bins. This is what the tag looked like. It says "Just for Fun" by Jams World. I'd never seen this before. Jams World's pretty hit or miss for me, so when I saw this at the bins, I picked it up, but I knew I wasn't going to list it for very much. Okay, that was actually the wrong Jams World piece. As you guys could probably tell, that did not sell in the $40 range. That was just a tank top. Or tunic tank top that probably sold for 20 something. This is the piece I meant to show you guys. This is a new tag Jams World piece. This actually didn't have a price at the thrift store, but I was buying a bunch of things. Usually if something doesn't have a price, I'm just like, whatever. I don't want to be like, you can't buy that, and you know, whatever sass they like to give. But because it didn't have a price and I went up there, they're like, oh, we'll give it to you for, I don't even know, $15, which was crazy. But anything new with tags at that thrift store, they would have easily made this like $50. It's absolutely crazy. So I did pick it up. Cute style. Again, Jams World doesn't really do the best for me, but since it was new with tags, I did pick it up. Sold for $45, and after fees, I made $32.25. This was a fun piece. This is a dress that had all these ties underneath, like this. And they looked like that. I found this at the bins. It was, again, one of those pieces that kind of looks like a sheet when it's all folded up, and it felt like a sheet, but it was a dress. Size large. As you can see, there was no brand name, but there was an RN number, so I looked that up. And it ended up being this brand called Magdalena. And they make a lot of dresses in this style with these like pickups at the bottom. I guess parachute is what I used. Really cool, very unique. I think I probably could have got a little bit more if I sat on it a little bit longer. But when someone offered me $40, I did decide to just accept. And after fees, I made $25.87. So there was probably a promotion fee on there. 15 people are watching this. Interesting. Okay. Moving on. Then I got this dress also at the bins. I really loved this style. It had this twist front detail, midi length, simple black dress. It did not have, like, this was worn off, which I was disappointed by. I'm like, this feels high quality. So I looked at the inner tag and it turned out to be Patagonia, and it had the size down here too, which I love when brands do that. So if it does get worn off, you'll still know. I think this, yeah, also had it embroidered on the outside. So that was great. This, I think, was actually an international sale. That's what the model photo looked like. Bare feet, interesting choice. But with eBay, you might have noticed, but if I have a model photo, not always, but if I feel like being very careful, I will include it in the listing, but just not make it the first picture, because eBay can get really mad about using companies' model photos. But this one, again, international, ended up selling for $42, which is what I had it listed at, and after fees, I made $37.59. Now moving on to sales in the $50 range. I actually only had one. July was kind of a slow month, but it was this gorgeous athletic dress. There's the model photo. I paid up for this, I think. No, I must not have. Recently, my Goodwill has changed it so they individually price everything, but it used to be that like all dresses were $10. So I think I probably spent $10 on it, because I think it's before they changed it. Anyway, it had the built-in shorts, athletic material, outdoor voices. It wasn't extra, extra small, but I actually do better with things in size extra, extra small than just extra small. I feel like there might just be less listings and, you know, people want that size, I guess. This ended up selling for $56, which is what I had it listed for. And after fees, I made $42.29, and still just such a gorgeous print. Now for sales in the $60 range, I sold these Rothy's on Poshmark. Really cute, was really excited to see these. I don't pick up every Rothy's I see, mostly because if I even think for a second that they might be fake, I just decide they are and I keep it pushing. But something you always want to check is under the sole, or whatever you'd call this part. It'll have like the information. Made in China is what you want to look for. Decently good stitching, equal all around. And it has the size and everything. A W is women's, so a 7.5. And yeah, these were really cute. They're the pointed flats, which I feel like are still pretty popular in this fun print. Sold for $67 on Posh, and after fees I made $53.60. Then I sold these, I think they were corduroy, blue pants. This is a new to me brand that has actually been doing really well. I think this is the second piece I'd found by them. This is the brand and this is the tag, Toast. I don't know too much about this brand, but the first time I found it was this really cool like denim sailor shirt that sold in a bundle. And then and really fast as well, and for like a lot. Then I found these pants and I was just so excited to try out this brand again, and they did well. And actually the other piece also sold on Deopop. So maybe this is just a really popular Deopop brand, but these are kind of simple, but they do make really fun, unique pieces. So something to look out for. These sold on an offer of $64, and after fees I made $54.69. Got that at a thrift store for $10. Here's another Bryn Walker sale. This I actually found the same time I found those wide leg pink linen pants. This is like a shacket, and honestly comps weren't that great. Look, 42 likes. That's insane on Deopop. But linen and Lagan Look, that's how you spell Lagan Look, do really well on Deopop. Yeah, I don't really have too much else to say, but Bryn Walker, this actually might be an older label from them. Again, a size small, 100% linen. This sold, I think on an offer, for $68, and after fees I made $58.30. So fantastic for something I found at the bins. Here's another bins find. I have been finding a lot of this brand Kuhl, Kuhl, at the bins. and like jackets too. So I have been picking them up. This sold really fast. It's still summer, and this sold again in July, but this is like a brand new jacket, honestly. It was men's, size extra large, absolutely fantastic, called their Impact jacket. There's the model photo. I couldn't remember how much this retailed for, but I didn't retail for as much as I thought it might have, but I did list it high. Ended up accepting an offer for $60, and after fees I made $42.34. I accepted the offer because it was like sold in a couple of days, and I'm like, you know what, that's great. Selling a jacket in July in a couple of days for $60, I won't be mad about that. This was a new tag Wilfred Aritzia dress. I've talked about this brand before. I love finding Wilfred. It's, for me, the best performing Aritzia brand. This was an extra small, but it was new tag, so I think that helped. It was also an older style. So I was going back and forth when I picked it up at a thrift store for, I think, $10. This is what the model photo looked like. I didn't love it, but it was Wilfred and new tag, so I really couldn't say no to it. Let's see if they had a price. $165 originally. That actually sounds kind of on the low end for them. But yeah, I picked it up. I couldn't say no. This actually ended up selling for what I had it listed for, which was $65. And after fees, I made $55.88. Then here was a fun Diane von Furstenberg piece. I found these at a thrift store, so, I mean, you're going to get sick of me saying this. About $10 is what I spent. I don't do super well with Diane von Furstenberg, even the silk wrap dresses that everyone says you have to pick up. I mean, granted, I will still pick them up, but I sit on them and they don't sell for as much as I think they will most of the time. This was missing the material tag. I'll usually include a picture of the material tag missing. So if I forget to mention there's no material tag and someone's like, what's the material? I'll go and look at my photos before I dig it out of my inventory just to make sure that it has a material tag. Like sometimes I might just miss photographing it, but anyway. These were really, really fun pull-on knit flare pants. Gorgeous color. I couldn't say no to them. I marked them high. I think there weren't many listed, but still really fun. And that tag just looked really like new to me from her. Made in Portugal. Ended up selling for $68, and after fees I made $50.40. All right, now for the few sales I had 70 and over. This, again, Wilfred from Aritzia. I was so excited to find this. I want to say I found this at a Savers, and it was actually under like $10, which anything under $10 at a thrift store around here, I'm like, oh my God, it's like free because just things get so expensive. But it was this all over cable knit, absolutely stunning. I think it wasn't marked that high because it did have a stain on it. But luckily, this is like hand washable or something. Yeah, hand wash cold. So I'm like, I'm going to take the risk and get the stain out. And it came out. And yeah, the person who bought it actually told me a story that they owned it and they accidentally shrunk theirs. And I was like, oh no. But yeah, this, luckily I didn't shrink. I get very nervous when I wash wool, but it came out beautiful. Sold for $72, and after fees I made $55.58. Then this was a new to me brand. I had never sold it before or heard about it, but after I found it and sold it, I did hear some other people talking about it. Jung Maven. I found this at the bins and I picked it up and put it back like 3 times because I thought it was really cool, like romper situation, but I didn't really know. This was the label and I couldn't make out anything about it except for the fact that it said Jung and that it was 100% hemp. So I ended up just Googling Jung and hemp romper, and the comps came up for Jung Maven, and you know, this is the style in a different color. So I was like, yeah, that has to be the same thing. And yeah, the comps on these pieces from this brand, especially their rompers and jumpsuits, are insane. I think I actually could have got more for this, but again, I found it at the bins and it turned into a quick flip. So I was more than happy to accept an offer of $75, and after fees, I made $60. Then for my best sale of July and the last sale I have for you guys, this, I just hit the mic. This absolutely stunning maxi dress. I saw this folded up in a bin that I think someone, like, because I was across from the new bins, I think someone just threw it into the bin I was looking at, like accidentally, / didn't really care about it. And I saw this print and I just knew it had to be something expensive. I love prints, and I feel like I've seen enough, and you guys might feel the same way, that you could just tell when you see something that it's like, that's an expensive print. I don't even know. I don't know, but that's just how I felt. And then this was the label. And as you could probably have already seen, it is a Johnny Was piece, but this is what the label looked like. And I mean, I would have looked it up anyway because I loved the print on this, and this is a very unique label. But I knew that this was a line of Johnny Was because you guys actually let me know. I found a pair of pants either last year or earlier this year that said Pete and Greta Johnny Was. So I knew that this was a line of Johnny Was, and I literally was, I don't even know, I was in shock. I was so happy. I ran over to that bin that I thought it came from, and I didn't find anything else, but honestly, I was just so happy. Maxi dress, extra large Johnny Was. Yeah, you cannot beat that. This sold extremely fast. I kind of had to make up a price because I literally could not find a single other dress that looked like this. And I was like, okay, I'll just do $125. We'll see what happens. It sold for $125 in less than a week. And after fees, I made $107.43. So definitely keep an eye out for this brand. Or obviously anything Johnny Was, but this is part of that. And I've sold other lower end lines of Johnny Was that aren't so obvious. I think For Love and Liberty is one. And that does well still. So just be familiar with their other lines that he makes, and keep an eye out for them. But yeah, that's everything I sold this month. I think it's a little bit obvious, but this was by far my favorite piece, not just because it sold for a lot, but because it's so pretty. I was contemplating, because I got this I think right before me and my husband went on a vacation, if I wanted to wear it, but I don't know, it just wasn't my style. But so cute anyway. But yeah, let me know how you guys' sourcing and selling has been, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye!